I want to bring in Scott Bauer, the CEO of Prosper Trading Academy, to talk how to trade Brexit. Are you trading it, Scott? Or are you just steering clear of this mess?
What are you talking about? What's that? I mean, hasn't this been going on for like almost 2 years, it seems like?
So ridiculous.
Yeah, another big vote, and I say big, you know, with the big apostrophes around it or quotes around it, because there may be 2 or 3 more, Oliver, until, you know, the extension or the end game here at the end of March comes to us. So how am I trading it? I'm actually not. But what I'm really looking at, though, is how the pound is reacting, because, you know, I've been reading that we could see a range in the pound over the next couple of weeks between like as low as 110 or upwards of over 130, which it actually just tipped over 130 the other day. So, you know, I think if somebody wants to play that, you know, you do it in the pound. But, you know, outside of that, I'm not really looking at much, quite frankly, because tomorrow's just another day.
Is Pound suggesting that it's going to get rejected and they're going to do like another referendum, though? Because I've generally thought about Pound positive being, you know, an anti-Brexit, an anti-Brexit type of move.
Yes, pound positive would be one of 2 scenarios: anti-Brexit or just an extension, another vote coming up in a few weeks, or they say that the end of March deadline that they have right now is now extended to end of June. So yes, that would be the anti-Brexit move, would be the upside in the pound.
What if she's out? What if she loses her job? Does that enter the, you know, how do we think about as traders the, you know, people like to say uncertainty, all right? I imagine if there is then...
That's what it is.
You know, like, so then there's other instances where maybe even if it means not Brexit, but there's uncertainty in terms of leadership, is that pound negative? I have no idea.
Yeah, sorry that I was trying to cut you off there, because that is really the key word. Once the uncertainty is removed from the equation, and whether that uncertainty is the removal of Theresa May or some definitive date, that is going to calm things down, and that is pound positive. Even if the vote is negative, once that uncertainty comes off the table, that is pound positive.
Yeah. Okay. What about in terms of cross asset class? So maybe you've got pound, obviously you can play, or maybe dollar against it. You've also got European equities you could do through, you know, Europe ETFs. Do you want to get stock exposure? Are they going to be more trading on, let me ask it this way. If you are somebody that has exposure to European companies, does tomorrow have a potential to move these companies, these stocks?
Yeah, I actually think it has potential to move things higher, and I say that because of just what we talked about. Some of the uncertainty is coming off the table. Now, the one thing on the opposite side of that does, let's say, concern me a bit is how poor the EU is doing economically. Last week, the Draghi speak of extending out, you know, from summer to the end of the year with no rate hikes. They're in a world of hurt over there. So any sort of bump that we may see from some of the uncertainty coming off of the Brexit situation, I think it's a rally, if there's a rally, that's going to be hit pretty quickly with some sellers.
Yeah. All right. Now, last thing here, Scott, broadening out it generally, because I want to get your take on what's been happening here today. You've got a pretty big pop to start off the week. What's it going to take for stocks to get you on board? I mean, are you feeling bullish after what we've seen here the past 24 hours and even the comeback on Friday a little bit?
I am on board, and I have been on board, and I've just actually been you know, whether some people want to say wasting some of my money, but I've been buying insurance because insurance has been cheap. Volatility is low. It's not the 10 handle that we've talked about in the past, but volatility is low. VIX is low right now. So I've just been buying some cheap insurance and staying in most of my equity positions here. Yes, I think the market has some room to go here. I'm not even talking about anything between the U.S. and China, and I don't think that today's rally at all has anything to do with U.S. and China. I think that what we've seen economically with some pretty poor numbers, actually, even though we had that great wage growth number, that's a big positive. But then, you know, yesterday, how do you classify the Powell put that we saw yesterday? I think that's what the market's really rallying on today. Maybe a little of an overshoot to the upside, but I still think we're in pretty good shape here for a good move higher.
All right, Mr. B, good stuff. We will follow up soon.
Yes, sir.
Scott Bauer, regular here on the network, as the CEO of Prosper Trading Academy.